Hello everyone, my name is Brianna. Today we're going to talk about these three carts. We have our blue recycling cart, our green organics cart, and our brown trash cart. So that brings me to my next slide. So first we're going to talk about what goes in the brown cart. The brown cart is your trash cart, and these items are things that should always go in the brown trash cart, and they're items that you commonly find in your home, school, and your apartments. So first ones we're going to talk about is on the top left. Those are potato chip bags. So you know when you eat Fritos, Doritos, Cheetos, Takis, you're going to have an inside lining left over that's made of aluminum foil. That foil is not recyclable. The reason being, when that foil makes it deep inside the recycling process, it doesn't melt properly and it can actually stick to the machines, breaking them. The next one is rubber. So you could see the rubber hose pictured there. You'll also find rubber like in toys, things of that nature. Rubber is not recyclable here in San Antonio, and it's a really complicated process to recycle them. The next one is on the top right. That is a candy wrapper. So candy wrappers, cookie wrappers, other chip wrappers. These small, thin plastics cannot be recycled. The reason being is the same reason as the chip bags. These small, thin plastics, instead of melting, they actually turn really sticky, almost like a piece of gum, and then they stick to the recycling machines, breaking them. Down below that, we have a broken toy, and right next to it, we have some plastic and wire hangers. So the toy and the hangers, I'm going to put kind of in the same category. They are really hard, rigid, irregularly shaped plastics. These plastics can actually break our machines. And then if you think about a toy, lots of toys are made of different materials like rubber, they have screws, springs, batteries. All that stuff can contaminate the recycling process. Last but not least, we have a diaper. So diapers are actually a pretty big problem here in San Antonio. Last year, we had over 200 pounds an hour worth of dirty diapers, and they can actually cost the city over $1 million in contamination, lost revenue. So it's really important that you make sure that you throw dirty diapers in the trash. If you don't throw a dirty diaper in the trash and you throw it in the recycling or the organics, there can actually be a fine issued to you. So when the garbage man comes and takes away your brown... So this is what a real landfill looks like. As you can see, we build it in cells so we can fit as much trash as possible into a small amount of space. On the right side, you see existing cells that have been paved over. They're completely full. And then in the middle and towards the left side, you can see trash waiting to be bulldozed in. As you can see on this slide, sometimes when we're done filling up our landfill, in San Antonio, another thing we have done to an old landfill is to actually turn it into a... Next, we will talk about HHW. If you remember from the beginning... Next, we're going to talk about our newest cart, which is our green... So why compost? Composting is important because of the positive effect... What is compost? Compost is a nutrient... So how does compost work? First, we need a good ratio of green material and brown material. Green material, like your vegetables, grass, plant trimmings, and fruit, produce a lot of nitrogen, while the brown materials, like your leaves, straw, paper, and branches, produce carbon. That's why we ask for a lot of that dirty food-soiled paper. We combine the green and brown material. We heat it up, really easy here in Texas with the sunshine, to about 100 and 150 degrees. We add some microorganisms, water, air. It releases carbon dioxide. And then it produces the compost that you know. The final cart we're going to talk about is the... So why recycle? The main reason why we want to... We can also cut down our dependency on... Another reason why we want to recycle properly is to prevent contamination. Non-recyclable materials placed in the blue cart that do not belong is called contamination. Contaminants thrown in the recycle bin cause many problems in the recycling process, so that's why we ask you to sort them out properly. So here's a picture of someone's home where they have everything sorted out. You have recyclables in the top left, organic material in the top right, and in the bottom you have a separate can for some more recyclable materials. If you don't sort out your food, your recyclables, your trash, your pile can look something like this. If we get a pile like this in our recycling plant, all of this stuff is no good and it gets sent to the landfill. So how can you help out preventing contamination? It's pretty simple. We ask that you just rinse out your recyclables and only put loose recyclables in the cart. Never put them in bags, plastic bags, or paper bags. Another reason to recycle is to reduce. First, we're going to talk about water pollution and what's downstream. As you probably know, if you throw something in a river or a stream here in San Antonio, it's going to flow into the ocean and hurt our wildlife. While that plastic is in the ocean, it can actually. So what is the significance of the plastic in these gyres? How does this affect you? Well, all of these items are commonly found littered in the ocean. Cardboard takes 2 weeks to decompose, newspaper 6 weeks, foam 50 years, styrofoam 80 years, aluminum 200 years, and plastic takes 400 years to decompose. It takes a really, really long time for these items to completely go away. They're predicting that by 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. And in the most polluted places in the ocean, the mass of plastic is more than 6 times the mass of plankton. So, how does that plastic pollution damage the environment? So what can you do right now? It's pretty simple. You've probably seen this symbol and these 3 words since you were in pre-K: reduce, reuse, recycle. These are 3 steps you can take to really help eliminate the damage of plastic pollution, water pollution, air pollution in your environment, and help keep San Antonio clean. Thank you for joining me today in my talk about recycling in our department.